This is Computer Generated Chess Problem 00583 by Chesthetica. This is actually a study-like construct, meaning there is no short, clear win, but there's basically a way to play or a move to play where white can basically win the position and the game quite decisively, even though it doesn't necessarily end in a crisp, clear checkmate. But let's take a closer look at the position first. White has a queen and two bishops against black's two rooks, two pieces, and a pawn. So black is technically ahead in material. There's also no immediate threat of checkmate on the black king, but there is a threat of checkmate on the white king, for example with rook captures the bishop on e8. So white in this position has to find some way to not only defend against imminent checkmate, but also win the position. So let me show you the engine analysis now. So the engine also needs to work here a bit, but it's not long before the solution emerges. Chess engines are pretty good these days. So okay, but first let's take a look at how white could go wrong here. Now obviously if white were to play something like queen to c8, defending the bishop on e8 and also attacking the rook on a6, black could simply play rook captures e8, queen captures e8, and then now we have, for example, b5 threatening a discovered check. White might play bishop to c1. The king just moves away to a white square. Now white's bishop is useless. Queen to e4 check. King tries to escape to safety. If white were to play queen to e1 here, check. Black defends with b4. White could try again, queen to e5 check. Black defends with knight to c5. White could still try to check queen to a1. King will move to b5. And now no more checks can be delivered. The queen is under attack. There's also a threat of the bishop on a7, creating a discovered check on the king. So at best for white, this is a draw. Let's also take a look at the other alternative which wins, but not as decisively. Bishop to c1. Here the king moves to b4. Then we have bishop to f7, b5, queen captures b3, king to c5, bishop to a3, king to d4, and white is winning here. But white can do even better than bishop to c1. The solution in this position is therefore bishop to f7. It's a move that removes the bishop from the threat of capture by the rook on e5, and at the same time it guards the e8 square from being occupied by the same rook, which might otherwise deliver a check and then followed by checkmate after queen to c8. It attacks the knight on b3, threatening mate with queen captures b3. So it's a very good move. Now, what if black plays knight captures d2? Now here obviously, white cannot play queen to b3 because the knight is still guarding the b3 square. So white allows the capture to take place, or sacrifices the bishop in a manner of speaking and plays queen to a2 check. The king moves to b4. Now white captures the knight. With a check, the king moves to c5. White creates a distant check with queen to f2. King moves to b5. Queen to b2. King moves to a4. Queen to b3. King moves to a5. Queen to c3. Check. King to b5. We have a little bit of a staircase maneuver happening here. And then queen takes e5, check. So now white is ahead in material. King to a4. And it doesn't really matter because white goes on to win shortly. The king moves out of the way so as to avoid a discovered check by the bishop, even though the bishop cannot really move very much in this position. Now the king could capture the rook, but white can win faster still by playing queen to a1 check. King moves to b4, queen to b2 check, king to c5, queen to c3 check, climbing that ladder again, king to d6, and here queen to c7, checkmate. So the bishop and the queen working very well together, creating a diagonal mating net on the king. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching.